Welcome back to episode 18 of When the Mask Falls. Today's episode focuses on when helping hurts. There's this moment when you realize that all the good you're doing is starting to actually cost you more than you have to give. You're tired, but you keep showing up. You're smiling, but your heart feels worn down. And somehow, the person who helps everyone else can't seem to help herself. You tell yourself you're fine because you've always been fine and people count on you to be fine. But somewhere deep down you start wondering, when did helping start to hurt? When did something that used to fill me up start to drain me dry? I think most of us who carry big hearts have that moment where compassion becomes heavy, where saying yes becomes automatic, where the line between helping others and losing yourself starts to blur. Today, I want to talk about that place, that quiet, lonely middle ground where the helpers live, where your worth feels tied to how much you give, and you can't remember the last time someone gave back. In a world that praises busyness, that worships selflessness, that rewards people who push through exhaustion, show up for everyone, and never complain. And honestly, I used to think that's what strength looked like. The one who stays late, the one who answers every message, the one who takes on just a little bit more because no one else will. But what no one sees are the quiet tears behind that laptop at midnight, the skipped meals, the constant mental checklist of everything still undone. The guilt you feel when you even think about taking a day off. I used to sit in my office late at night, tons of browser tabs open, some for the rescue, some for Rotary, and others for grant budgets that I just had to get finished by morning. And often my phone rings continuously with someone who has another cat or litter of kittens that they need picked up. A volunteer backs out of something or some big project that we have planned. Another staff member needs help with one thing or another. Someone needs a donation or a call or some kind of answer. Something. And before my brain can even be caught up, my mouth will always say yes. Because, that's right, that's who I am. The reliable one, the fixer, and the helper. But once everyone else is okay, I'm usually not. The adrenaline fades, and what's left is this bone-deep exhaustion. Not the kind a nap fixes, the kind that seeps into your soul. You start to feel invisible, not because people don't see you, but because they only see what you do, and not who you are. And after a while, you stop seeing it too. You start to wonder, if I stopped helping, who would I be? Would people even still reach out? Would they still care? Would I still have value if I wasn't needed every second of every day? Here's the ugly truth. There's a cost to being the dependable one, and that cost is often yourself. You're the strong one, so people assume that you don't break. When you're the organizer, people assume that you don't need help. And often when you're the giver, people forget you might need to receive. I have to say, with the friendship circle that I have around me and my close family, I am very blessed. I am a huge giver, but I have also been blessed with people who understand my burnout and who know when I need that little pick-me-up. Whether it's a coffee or a meal or a surprise in the mail from a friend that lives out of town, they always help bring me back to life. And those little surprises are what help get me through. You often become the emotional first responder in everyone else's crisis, but you can't remember the last time you let anyone see yours. You try to be private about your pain so that you don't become a burden upon others. Well, let me tell you, it's okay to share, and it's okay to be vulnerable. The worst part about all of the emotional price is you start believing that asking for help makes you weak. So you hide it behind humor, competence, or I've got it. I used to have this button on my desk that said, "You've got this," until I realized that was putting even more pressure on myself. Even though it was a joke, I still felt determined to always constantly have it, and I didn't. So when people would say it, then I would get even more frustrated. With strength without vulnerability, it isn't strength at all. It's performance, and performances are exhausting. I used to think if I just did a little more, if I could help just one more person, save one more cat, fix up one more mess, maybe, just maybe the chaos inside of me would quiet down. I mean, that was my purpose. That's what I was put here on earth to do, right? Serve everyone else. But it doesn't work like that, because sometimes saying yes isn't compassion. It's fear. It's fear of letting people down. Fear of being judged. Fear of being forgotten if we don't show up. And a big one for me about having someone else help me with my job is the fear that I will not be needed anymore. There's a twisted comfort in being needed. It gives you a sense of control in a world that constantly takes it away. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. And if you keep pouring anyway, eventually, all you're giving people is your burnout, wrapped in good intention. There's a quote that I love. If you keep rescuing everyone, eventually you'll drown in the water you jumped into for them. And that's exactly what it feels like. You're treading water, holding everyone else above the surface, and no one notices you're the one gasping for air. Helping others can become addictive. You chase that hit of purpose, that validation, that relief that you did something. You tell yourself, I'm just trying to make a difference. But underneath that, sometimes the quieter voice saying, if I stop, who will I be? I've learned that sometimes helping can become avoidance of your own pain, your own needs, and your own silence. Because if you stay busy fixing everyone else, you don't have to face the things inside you that are still broken. And sometimes, helping can be identity theft, not because someone actually steals your identity, but because you slowly hand it away. Piece by piece, yes by yes, until one day you wake up and realize you don't know where you end and the world begins. You've become everyone's rock, but no one's home. Here's what I finally accepted. Boundaries don't mean you love less. They mean you love honestly. When you set limits, you teach people how to respect your capacity. When you rest, you remind your body you're worth taking care of. When you say no, you're not rejecting someone. You're choosing yourself. And the right people, the ones who truly value you, will never make you feel guilty for that. The ones who disappear when you stop overgiving, let them go. They were attached to your help, not your heart. Helping should be an act of love, not proof of worth. Because when love becomes labor, something is wrong. Now I ask myself a simple question before I step in. Am I helping because it's truly needed, or because I'm afraid of what silence might make me feel? That question has saved me from burnout more than once. Sometimes the best way to help is to step aside, to let someone else rise, to let life unfold without you holding it together. We can't rescue everyone, and we're not meant to. Sometimes people need to learn, struggle, and grow without interference. That's not neglect, it's respect for their journey. Let's talk about healing, because this isn't just about saying no. It's about learning how to refill your soul after years of depletion. Start with stillness. It's uncomfortable at first because you're used to doing, but that silence, that pause, is where you meet yourself again. Go for a walk without your phone. Say yes to that nap. Take the weekend off without guilt. Let those emails wait. And when the voice inside says, you should be doing more, respond gently, I have done enough today. Helping hurts when it comes from fear or obligation. Helping heals when it comes from overflow. So fill your life with things that refill you. The laughter of your child, the quiet of your morning coffee, the comfort of the cats, the warmth of genuine friendship, and the moments that don't demand performance, because that is where your heart remembers what it feels like to be alive. If helping has started to hurt, that doesn't mean that your heart is broken. It means it's asking you to listen. The world needs your light, but not at the cost of your fire. You deserve to be cared for with the same tenderness you give everyone else. So tonight, take the cape off, let it fall to the floor, and just breathe. You don't have to save anyone right now, not the world, not your friends, not even yourself. Just exist. That is enough. Because you don't have to do to deserve peace, and you don't have to give to be worthy, and you do not have to fix to be loved. You already are. This has been When the Mask Falls, episode 18, When Helping Hurts. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who gives too much. Remind them they deserve rest too. And as always, thank you for listening, for showing up, and for letting me show up for you. In truth, not performance. Until next time, take care of you. Really, take care of you.